Well, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but hopefully you can, and hopefully this is recording, and hopefully this is doing all the things that I wanted to do, because this is one of the first times I've ever done a workshop like this. So bear with me if it gets a little awkward at any point. So I am going to be going through this, and I am going to be going back and forth between a few of these slides and myself. And yeah, so let's just get going in on it. There we go. Okay. So this is the How to Correct Your Posture workshop, where we are going to be talking about how to correct your posture with stretching, strengthening, and mindfulness. So quick little disclaimer, if you are following along with any of my exercises, please be careful. Always make sure that you are medically cleared to be exercising. And if anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. Just a little about me and Active for Life Online. My name is Randy Puller, and I am super excited to help you get active for life. I started the online studio to provide quick and accessible workouts that'll help you stay healthy, and I focus on building a functional strength, improving mobility, and creating balance. So when you join the online studio, you get full access to the on-demand classes and the training plans to help you reach your goal faster. Full access to everything, no having to pay extra for extra stuff, just full access to everything so that you can stay active every day. If you're looking for more personalized support, you can always check out my one-on-one coaching services, and I'll help you set your goals, make a plan, and stick to it. Your goal is to get active and living your best life. I can help you do it. So go next here. So what to expect during this workshop. Today's workshop is going to be a mix of education and movement. We will be talking first about how our posture affects our lives, and then practicing a few sitting and standing exercises that will help you get started correcting your posture. Sorry, take that out. I am not including standing exercises in this. We are just going to be doing some sitting exercises, so nobody has to get up and move around. Today we'll be talking about the effects of poor posture, what proper posture looks like, some of the different muscle imbalances that you can have, and then we'll get into the stretching and the strengthening and the mindfulness of it all. So, the cause of poor posture. Posture issues are caused by an imbalance in your muscles, which means that one side is too tight and one side is too weak. So for example, if you slouch a lot, it's likely that your chest muscles are very tight and your back and shoulder muscles are weak. The good news is this issue can be corrected with a consistent combination of mindfully sitting and standing with good posture, strengthening exercises, and stretches. So some of the effects of poor posture, it's really good to know these things because it'll help you become more aware of these things that are maybe being triggered. So this is always the first thing that I work on with a new client, and it matters so much because it affects so many different aspects of your life. From your mood to your sleep to how well your bowels work, posture has a role to play in all of it. So one of the biggest effects is chronic pain. So if you've had poor posture for a while, it's likely that you've had a lot of pain associated with it. Pain in your back, neck, and shoulders is most common. Sorry, are we having somebody trying to come through here? I'm muting some things. There we go. Okay. Oops. Go back. Okay. So if you've had poor posture for a while, it's likely that you've had some pain associated with it. Pain in your back, neck, and shoulders is most common. If your pelvis has been pulled out of line, you might be also experiencing pain in your legs and feet and lower back. Our skeletons were designed to sit in a very specific way, and they were built to move a lot more than our modern day lifestyles generally allow for. So now when we often have jobs where we're standing or sitting in one way for long hours, it's causing our skeleton to be pulled into uncomfortable positions and puts pressure in places that shouldn't have that much pressure. This causes issues with the discs and cartilage between the vertebrae and the joints, which lead to ruptures, tears, and bulges. And all this can put pressure on the nerves, which can lead to a sharp tingling or stinging feeling. Which brings us to poor circulation. Your nerves and your blood vessels are running up and down your spine through small holes. This is like everything else and is really designed to sit in a very specific way. When we let our posture slip out of alignment, these blood vessels and nerves get pinched. When blood vessels are restricted, you will have poor blood circulation. This will make your heart work harder than it wants to, and it'll leave you with cold appendages and slow healing of any injuries or sore muscles. If you have a nerve pinched, it will cause a decent amount of pain, loss of sensation, or tingly sensations, all of which are uncomfortable and should be avoided. With either of these issues, if it is left unchecked for too long, it can cause permanent damage. Poor posture can also affect your breathing. So if you ever feel winded from walking up the stairs or just getting off the couch, you have to, if you look at how you were sitting or standing at the time, maybe you were hunched over and crushing your lungs into this like itty bitty living space. That might cause a lack of being able to get that full breath because our lungs need a big open space to work at full capacity. So when we're standing or sitting with our shoulders should be relaxed, chest open, not hunched over. Breathing better will also help with the feelings of fatigue and brain fog by sending more oxygen to your head and your body, and you'll feel more energized with more oxygen getting into your blood and the muscles. It can also affect your digestive tract. Like I said, it really does affect your whole body. It can affect your stomach and your bowels mostly because they, of course, again, need space so that the food can pass through comfortably. If you've just eaten, it's always best to stay sitting or stand upright for at least 20 minutes to let the food process. If you've been dealing with heartburn, IBS, or other digestive and bowel issues, try correcting your posture. It might not completely solve the problem, but it won't make it worse, that's for sure. Posture also causes a lot of stress and anxiety issues. Oh, I've got another person coming in. All right. So posture issues can also cause a lot of stress and anxiety. There are no shortage of things that cause stress and anxiety in our daily life, so why not eliminate this one? If you're dealing with any of the issues mentioned above, it is likely that they are also adding to your stress. When you're feeling sore, tired, and tense, your mind's not going to process things the way you want it to, which might make doing your job or running your house an even bigger task. A constant slouching posture is also known to cause lower self-esteem and lack of confidence. Studies have been done that prove holding yourself taller with better posture will help you really feel better about yourself. To our newest edition, I am going through some of the different effects of poor posture on our overall well-being. And if you want to catch the ones that you missed, I will be sending out a replay of this workshop to you. So the good news, you can improve your posture with a few simple exercises, balance specific workouts. As you can address posture and balance problems with exercises that build strength where it counts and stretches that loosen tight muscles. Quick posture checks all day long will help you start making a habit, and checks in the mirror before and during balance exercises can also help you get the most out of your regular workout. And increasing your core strength and flexibility can help improve your posture noticeably in just a few weeks. Okay, so posture problems. So the muscles on, oh, we have somebody else coming in. Admit, there we go. All right, so we are just starting to go over the different problems that posture can cause in your physical body. So the muscles on each side of your body should be symmetrical with each other. in size and strength. When a muscle or muscles on one side of your body is larger, smaller, stronger, or weaker than the corresponding muscles on the other side, you have a muscle imbalance. So some of the most common imbalances are tech neck or poke neck, kyphosis or hunchback, lordosis or sway back, flat back, and a side lean. So poke neck, which is when your neck is just poked too far forward. I will be showing demonstrations of these as we go through our stretches and our strengthening exercises. So it comes from too much time spent with your head hanging, usually over a phone or keyboard. Some studies are saying that leaning your head forward at a 45-degree angle increases the weight that your spine is supporting by about 60 pounds. These joints and muscles are just not designed for that. And if you feel your chin jutting forward, try to pull it back, lining your ears with your shoulders, and bring your phone up to eye level whenever possible, and stretch often. If you have kyphosis, which is a rounding of the upper back, which is caused by excessive slouching. Short term, the hunchback is not very comfortable or pretty to look at, but after a while, it can cause a lot of pain in your shoulders and actually start to affect your breathing and other organs. Long term, it can really limit your mobility, and it can be very painful to lie down or stand up and look straight. Kyphosis is caused by weak muscles in your back and shoulders and tight muscles in your chest. Lordosis is an exaggerated curve in your lower back. This is caused by your pelvis being misaligned. When you're standing straight, move your pelvis forward and backwards, sticking your bum out and tucking your tailbone back under. You want to find the standing position where your pelvis is in neutral. If you're swaying too far one way, start to mindfully bring it to neutral whenever you're sitting or standing. Flat back posture is a type of posture that is characterized by the lack of the natural curve in the spine. As a result, the alignment of the spine, as viewed from the side, is flatter than normal. In flat back posture, the spine has a poor ability to absorb and distribute mechanical stress evenly throughout the body. As a result, the muscles may have to work harder to help stabilize and move the spine. The muscles responsible here are the tight, overactive hamstrings, abdominals, and glute muscles, or the weak or inhibited lumbar and hip flexors. And maybe you've got the side lean. So maybe you put more weight on one side of your body than the other. The lateral pelvic tilt is when the pelvis shifts side to side so much that one hip is higher than the other. This leads to unilateral muscle imbalances throughout the body. The erector spinae muscle group often affects this tilt and should be addressed in this situation. So let's talk proper posture. I'm going to stop sharing my screen again so that you guys can see me. Okay, so proper posture when standing. So I'm just going to push you farther away from me here. So when you're standing, you want to make sure that you're bearing your weight evenly between your feet, standing with your feet about hip width apart and your pelvis in a nice neutral alignment. So like I was saying, you can tip your pelvis forward or backwards, exaggerating that lower curve or flattening that curve right out. And you want to find the nice neutral spot where you've got a curve in the lower back, but it's not exaggerated. So standing with your hips in a nice neutral position, bringing your back up straight, engaging your core, which means tightening those muscles in your stomach. You want to bring your shoulders back and down, your neck tucked back or your chin tucked back so your ears are over your shoulders and looking out straight. This is your most ideal standing posture. Nice and straight. You need to strengthen the muscles in your back to pull them up. You need to stretch out the muscles in your chest to open them up. And you need control over your pelvis to maintain this nice strong posture, as you see there. All right, and so the next one is, of course, sitting posture. So I'm going to bring it back to my chair here. So when you are sitting, so best posture would be sitting with your feet about hip width apart, planted firmly on the ground, not crossed over at the knee or crossed over at the ankle, but side by side, about hip width apart. You want to ideally be sitting in a chair where you can bring your knees up to about hip level, or put something underneath your feet to hold your knees up that little bit. So bringing yourself into sitting with your feet flat. Your pelvis, again, same thing, can tip forward and back even when you're sitting. You want to find that nice neutral position where you have a little bit of a curve in your lower back, but not an exaggerated curve. Now, if you're going to be sitting for a long time, you will want to make sure that you have space to sit back against. If you would normally be leaning back in that chair, find something that you can put in between your upper and lower back to give you that little bit of support, keep that natural curve, and keep you sitting up straight. Otherwise, if you're pulling away from your chair, same thing with your shoulders, back and down, arms to your side, chin tucked back so that your ears are aligned over your shoulders, and you have your nice sitting position. So if most likely when you're sitting, you're going to be looking at a computer, if you can possibly bring your computer up to eye level, so your screen is at eye level so that your head doesn't have to tilt down at all. Bring your arms to where they can sit at a nice 90-degree here. That puts the least amount of stress on anything, where you can have your keyboard right in front of you. That is the most ideal way of being able to sit. And of course, laying down is another thing too. I'm not going to demonstrate it, but finding good posture laying down is all about finding a mattress that's right for you. A firm mattress is often suggested, but you might find that a softer mattress feels better on your joints. So whatever works best for you is best. Having a pillow that's designed for the way that you sleep as well is a really good idea. Laying on your stomach is not generally recommended. Laying on your side or your back is really good. If you're on your side, putting a pillow in between your knees will help keep your pelvis and your spine in a nice straight alignment. And if you are laying on your back, putting a pillow underneath your knees to support can help really decrease lower back pain. Okay, so mindfulness. So stretching and strengthening, of course, are going to be a big part of correcting your posture. Now, okay. So stretching and strengthening are going to be a big part of correcting your posture. But first, I want to go over a couple of the different ways that you can mindfully start to recognize your poor posture positions to be able to make it easier. So setting reminders is a really good way to start. After a while, you won't need them so much, but in the beginning, setting a reminder that goes off every 10 to 20 minutes is such a good way to get yourself started. An isometric exercise, which is an exercise that just involves you holding said certain position without moving your joints, is one of the best ways to start strengthening. So just by holding your shoulders back and straight, you are starting to build those muscles. So the hardest part, of course, is just remembering to do it. So if you set yourself reminders, whether you set an alarm on your phone or put a sticky note on your computer, find a way to remind yourself every so often and keep the reminders going for a month or more until your mind is just pre-programmed to focus on it more subconsciously. And don't forget to add a reminder in your car. So people don't really think about the posture that they're sitting in their car very often, but we sit in our cars for a lot of hours in a day. So add another reminder in your car somewhere that it's going to be safe, and make sure that if you've already set reminders that are going to go off every 10 to 15 minutes, that you have your safe driving settings turned off so that your phone alarm isn't going off while you're driving. My next tip is connecting two habits. So this is a 2-for-1 tip. So if you start drinking more water, which we all should do, it has a lot to do with posture actually, because when you are more well hydrated, your muscles are more flexible and your joints will be feeling a little bit better. But if you combine the two habits, you will have a little bit more success with both. So what you can do is get a piece of painter's tape and stick it onto your water bottle and write a posture reminder on your water bottle. And then every time you look at your bottle and it reminds you to sit up straighter, take a drink of water. And voila, 2 habits all in one. Okay, let's get moving. So make sure you find that comfortable sitting position in your chair. Make sure your feet are flat on the ground, knees level with your hips. Don't cross your ankles or your knees. Let your pelvis find a neutral position sitting up straight. Your back should be supporting itself if possible, not leaning back. Shoulders back and down, hands at your side, and ears aligned over your shoulders. Exercise, again, can be unique experience in everybody's body. If you are currently dealing with any chronic pain, misalignments, or more severe posture issues, please be sure to consult your doctor. Always take the exercises slowly, and if you're unsure, work out with a professional. The following workouts work for me, but that does not mean they're going to work for you. They are general suggestions, and you might require a more personalized program. If you are following along today, please remember to take it slow and stop if it hurts, and be aware of the inherent risks that come with exercise. Okay, so we are going to start by working on the neck. So if your neck is generally sitting too far forward and leaning, you're going to want to strengthen all the muscles that come up the back. So if they are feeling a little tight in here because your head's leaning too far forward, you can start by just looking up to stretch in through the front of your neck. And then you can roll to the side, ear to your shoulder, to stretch in through that side muscle through your neck. And up and to the other side through your neck here. And come back to center. If you are looking to strengthen the muscles in behind, you can try some chin tucks. So if it's consistently sitting like this, you want to tuck your chin back, make a nice little double chin there, and then relax, tuck it back, and relax. Continuing like so. Or if you're looking for something a little bit extra to get yourself moving, especially if you've been sitting for a while, you can try leaning forward, letting your head drop down, stretch out, and coming up. And repeating like so, bringing it up to a nice straight line and back down. You're not hyperextending and looking all the way up. You're just keeping your eyes down on the ground as you bring it up. Start strengthening through the back of your neck. Your chest. So, like I said, when you are slouching, often the muscles in the front of your chest get very tight. So you can open these up by bringing your hands around, grabbing behind your back, or even just grabbing the back of your chair, whatever feels most comfortable, and stretching them open. I highly recommend doing this a couple times a day. Move it around, explore it. Bend forward, bring them up. Whatever feels right for you, to stretch them open. And then if you're looking to start strengthening, most of the most effective strengthening exercises will require weights or something. But if you want to start working on something while you're just sitting in the office, go ahead and lean back so that you're on a nice angle, arms out to the side, and just bringing them up to center and back down. Holding your head up so it's not falling back. like so. Nice little flies. Our shoulders. So if your shoulders are feeling really tight, we can do some seated cat-cows. And for those, you're going to put your hands on your knees here. And we're just going to round out, round through the shoulders, tucking your tailbone under, tucking your chin in, and then push out, pulling your shoulders back, opening your chest. And then back and forth as you breathe. So breathe out as you round in. Breathe in as you come up. Best way to start stretching through the shoulders. And then if you are looking to start strengthening through the shoulders, we're going to work on some scapular retractions. So your scapulas in the back come forward together like this with the muscles. So you just want to work on bringing them back and back neutral. Pull back, retracted, and back to neutral. Just engaging those muscles and releasing will help them start strengthening nice and slowly, getting ready for the big work. Your lower back, if your lower back is feeling a lot of pain and stress, you can start by stretching it out with a forward fold. So just stretching forward in your chair where you are and coming back up when you're ready. And if you are working on strengthening, you can start with some good morning stretches. So by bringing your hands behind your head, bringing your knees out a little farther apart, leaning forward and coming back up. So find your balancing point there so that you can come forward, hinging at the hips and bringing it back up, engaging those extensor muscles through your back, like so. One more here, and that is your glutes. So if your glutes are feeling tight, the best stretch I've got for you is bringing your one ankle over top of your knee and you can just give a little push down on the knee and that will intensify the stretch a bit. Or just lean forward just slightly and that will intensify the stretch a little bit more and you should feel it deep into those glutes there. And switch sides, stretching out both ways. If you are looking to start strengthening your glutes, of course, sitting, there's not a ton you can do here, but you can do some glute clenches. So wherever you're sitting, you want to clench so that it lifts you up and back down and up and down. And doing a bunch of these during your day, sitting at your desk, will help strengthen your glutes a lot more than doing nothing, just sitting there all day. There's also, of course, if you want to do some sit to stands, so just standing and sitting. Or touching down to your chair for some little air squats, like so. Those are your best options for starting to stretch and strengthen as you're just getting started. Of course, if you're looking for something a little bit more, I have an awesome program coming out that I think you are all going to love. So in summary, you can start correcting your posture today, right from where you're sitting. Take some time to be mindful about the way you hold yourself and avoid a whole bunch of pain and trouble. I hope all this information has helped you. These are some pretty basic starting points to get you thinking, but please remember, if you ever need help on the journey, I am here for you. So you can come and join me on activeforlifeonline.com. I'm going to be posting a new program next week. This is posture program is going to include 3 different calendars that will guide you through a workout, whether you want to follow this program for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. You can stretch it out or you can get really intense about it. It's always up to you. All of my programs are self-paced. You'll be working on flexibility, mobility, and 3 different levels of strength with optional weights and resistance bands. And I also have some seated options for those long office days. So thank you, friends, for joining. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be sending a coupon for 50% off of this program when it launches in March. Please check your inbox to be sure that my emails are not going to the junk mail. You don't want to miss out on this deal. So thank you again for being here. And if you have any questions, I will hang around for a moment and give you a chance to ask, or you can email me at randy.puller@activeforlifeonline.com. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for coming to my little workshop here. All right. Thank you all for coming. I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope you enjoyed learning, and I hope you come and check out Active for Life online. Bye.